Hello, my name is Samantha, or Outspoken Samantha, or Outspoken Sam, depending on the platform that you are watching this on. On my channel, I like to give my opinion and perspective on current events and issues that are happening today, things that I actually think matter to everyday people, especially those of us that are just trying to raise kids and navigate through the absolute insanity that is today's society. We are not CEOs of big corporations. We are not part of the mainstream media. We do not live in the Hollywood bubble, and we are not politicians in Washington, D.C. But we do have to live with the consequences of the decisions being made by the people in the previously mentioned categories. So if you feel like that describes you, please like this video, leave your comment and perspective, consider subscribing to my channel. All of these things help me to grow my channel and hopefully reach more people that value logic and reason and sanity. Also be sure to find me on Rumble under Outspoken Samantha in the event that YouTube decides that I have violated their community standards and choose to kick me off their platform forever. That being said, let's get into today's topic. So have you ever heard of the Munchausen syndrome by proxy? Basically, the caregiver of a child or adult can make up fake symptoms and even cause fake symptoms in the person that they're in charge of caring for, so that they will gain attention and sympathy from the people around them for being the caregiver of somebody that has an issue of some kind. So one of the most famous cases or well-known cases of Munchausen syndrome by proxy is that of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who was raised by her mom, Dee Dee. And at the age of 8, Dee Dee started convincing Gypsy that she had all of these health issues, and she was convincing the people around them that Gypsy had all of these health issues, and she convinced doctors that Gypsy had all of these health issues. She convinced her that she had sleep apnea and leukemia and muscular dystrophy and asthma and seizures and digestive issues and all of these things, to the point where Gypsy herself believed that she couldn't walk. She was confined to a wheelchair. She believed that she had these digestive issues, and so she had a feeding tube inserted surgically. She was convinced, her mom was able to convince her that these things were real because she wanted sympathy and she wanted attention and she wanted, people to come to her and praise her for taking care of somebody that had some challenges. And I understand that with transgenderism, maybe it doesn't seem like that's what's happening. Maybe it doesn't seem that extreme as what, Gypsy and her mom went through. But we've become a society that is obsessed with getting praise, that is obsessed with getting approval, that needs to see likes and comments and interactions on our social media. And what better example of that than when the COVID vaccines came out? When everybody was getting them, not only that, but everybody was posting a photo of themselves getting that. And when has that ever been normal? When you get a medical procedure and it's a thing to post it on social media and tell everybody what you're doing. But this became a trend because people wanted praise for their participation. They wanted praise to show what they were doing for the good of society. They wanted approval. They wanted attention for what they were doing. This whole gender identity ideology, we're seeing more and more of it from parents who are really just looking for attention. So I have a couple of examples of this. I saw this interview with this lady on the Today Show, and she's talking about her daughter being transgender. And as you're watching them talk, the daughter is kind of explaining who she is and what she likes to do. And as you watch the mom is mouthing along the words of what her child is saying. You need to see it for yourself. Just watch.
9-year-old Kieran Clausen collects crystals. She dabbles in face paint and she loves sports.
What do you play?
I did play volleyball, soccer, and I want to play basketball.
To Kieran, who's transgender, it's not about racking up victories.
I don't want to win any trophies for it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
What's it about?
Having fun with your friends for it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
Kieran seems undeterred with a message now about her journey.
Never stop being you. That's it.
Never stop being you.
There's so many kids that don't even have the opportunity to express who they really are. We are acknowledging more people as who they are than taking something away from somebody else.
Did you catch that? Let's watch it again, just a couple of seconds.
With your friends for it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
That is not normal behavior. How would that mom be able to mouth along exactly what her daughter or her child is saying unless it was scripted, unless it was rehearsed beforehand, unless she told her child what to say in this interview? It is absolutely insane. And if you noticed, the mom is doing that same level of emotion that we've seen before recently.
I was just looking at the dirty carpet trying to will myself to get up.
No real emotion, no tears, just trying to tug at your heartstrings and get your attention and your sympathy that she is caring for somebody and really trying to do something that her child wants, to help her child overcome some challenges that she might be facing. Another example is the article in the story that I was just talking about the other day, where the mom was convinced that her 4-month-old baby was already manifesting their transgender identity just because they were gravitating towards certain toys and certain colors and certain articles of clothing, or that they were supposedly making a different kind of face if she mentioned the word boy. And in the article it says, what could be the motivation for all of this? On her personal page, she shares a public post of a screenshot from one of her TikTok videos showing her excitement at reaching 1,000 likes. It seems she may be using her children's trans and non-binary identities for clicks to bring attention to her business selling social justice t-shirts. In a recent post, she excitedly proclaims her TikTok channel has reached 10,000 likes. So when I say perhaps there's more of a trend of parents looking for attention through their children, there is reason to believe that. There is evidence to back that up. And what about this other video of this mom sitting on camera with her 2 kids? I believe they're doing a Q&A about their identities and about their journey. And the kid gets real honest about how he came to this conclusion about his identity. Have a look.
White people that aren't like serial killers like Ted Bundy.
Does your mom say you have to be LGBT?
No.
No, I can choose what I want to be, but
Go ahead, Lex. Go ahead. Keep talking. Say what you're saying.
My mom doesn't matter if I am gay or lesbian or any of that. She doesn't care. All she cares about is that I'm a part of it. And if I'm not a part of it, she'll try to convince me to join it. Because
What? Are you saying right now?
Facts.
That I would convince you to join what?
The LGBTQIA plus community.
And the more stories that come out like these, because these are not just isolated incidents, it confirms that kids are coming to these conclusions about their identities because of the influence around them. Shelves and shelves of books that they're surrounded by, and the pride pins and the pride flags and the pride event and the drag queen story hour, and the parents that are sitting at home waiting to be praised as the parent of a transgender kid. Maybe all of those things combined might have an influence on who kids think they are and what they can be. And this brings me to the idea that maybe, we're looking at all of these things happening with kids' mental health, which absolutely needs to be addressed because we are failing our kids. But maybe there is an increase in mental health issues in the parents, and that they get sympathy and attention for helping their child overcome these challenges. It's normal for kids to want to explore their identity and to express themselves as an individual and to explore different talents and interests and skills and what they want to focus on. It's normal for them to not want to feel like they have to like the same things as all the other boys or all the other girls, or to want to be accepted as a girl who might gravitate towards more traditionally boy stuff, or a boy that might have more of an interest in things that are stereotypically girl things. But that doesn't mean that every single thing that they do is an indication of their sexual preferences or their sexual identity. They just want to be kids. They just want to be able to explore who they are without all of this weight being put on all of their decisions or constantly being analyzed by the parents around them, as their parents are just chomping at the bit, waiting for them to make a move that allows their parent to initiate them into this identity club. Parents are taking their own wishes and desires for popularity and acceptance and projecting them onto their kids and using their kids as tools to gain attention for themselves. Kids have enough to deal with their own mental health struggles, with their own anxiety in being comfortable in their own skin and figuring out who they are and being comfortable with developing into an adult. They have enough to worry about without their parent or the adults around them hijacking their entire identity in the process. Just stop. Just stop it.